How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a fabulous day or night, So tonight's story is a major trigger warning. A lot of people can't handle this story. In fact, when I heard about this story, I don't know, maybe my sister said like 20 years ago on that show, I Survived. Yes. And recently, my friend Mikey Angelo introduced me to the story again. He brought it up. And then when I was doing more research on YouTube and looking for information and another case, this case came up again. So I was like, okay, third time's a charm. I'm going to do this. But I'm going to warn all my listeners and watchers, hey, what's going on? How you doing? That this is not for the faint of heart. You may have nightmares. So what I'm going to tell you right now is that this person in the story is still alive. It's a survivor story, but it is unbelievable. It is horrific. It is literally nightmare fuel. So I'm going to drop the GoFundMe site on the link below. Please share that to your friends, family, all your socials, whoever you know, and maybe warn saying only watch 2 minutes of this podcast, and then after the 2 minutes it gets pretty, I get into the story, which is hardcore. All right, well, here's the intro. What's up? I am Catie Brannon, and this is Tea Time True Crime with Catie. If you are watching, I definitely added some clothes on, even though I'm very easily hot. This is the kind of story that I need all my comfort items. This story is very upsetting, disturbing, so I have a white candle burning around me. Of course, I have my neon heart, bright as can be. I have my hot tea that my husband just made me, and it looks great. I think he made me my favorite, just hot green tea with a dash of honey. And if you were listening, I have my rainbow little yarn trench coat thingy I just put on. Again, this is put on your comfort items. Make sure you don't go into anxiety attack. I'm being real, guys. This story is not for everyone. That is why I told anyone who turns on this video, go to GoFundMe, donate what you can, send to your friends and family. We need to appreciate this hero. But people cannot hear dark things. Some people can't. Some people cannot take my details of the crime. And I will do that to have respect for Thaddeus William Phillips. Okay, so if you're watching, I am using my SB's Lakeside Love Shack mug. I'm saying that slowly because it is a real place. It is in Richmond, and it's my favorite breakfast place. I'm so mad that I never can get there as much as I can, but when I go, which is rare, my husband and I, we rarely go out to eat because we're just busy, different schedules, but yeah, definitely go to that place. It's wonderful people, amazing breakfast food in Richmond, Virginia. So definitely check that out. Sorry, nothing is sponsored from the video. I just wanted to let you know. Okay. Ooh, all right. So this video, I do not want to call it what the killer is about, but I'll give you a hint. Bone breaker killer. Just the sound of that gives me the chills. So we are going to go back to the end of, let's see, they said the end of June, going into July in 1995. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So we're going to start, believe it or not, there's another case that I'm going to talk about that happened in 1994, 4th of July weekend. Now, this, again, I thought this happened in the 4th of July weekend, but it's very confusing because I've read articles. Anyway, you have to know, guys, that it did happen. It's either the beginning of July or the end of July in 1995. But let's talk about Thaddeus William Phillips. He was only 13 years old when he moved to a town in Baraboo, Wisconsin. I'm probably butchering that, you guys. I apologize. And well, he fell asleep on the couch one night. I'm sure we all have, watching a movie, and you're just chilling and you just fall asleep. Well, all of a sudden, as he falls asleep on the couch while watching a movie with his sister, doesn't say how old the sister is, but she's quite young. But Thaddeus, or if you want to say Thad, we'll just say T-H-A-D, okay? So Thad fell asleep, like I said, right? And all of a sudden, he is being lifted off the couch. Now, what he feels is either one of his parents has picked him up and is bringing him to his bed, right? Well, no. It is a complete stranger who is actually picking up Thad and slowly taking him outside and taking him to a few houses down. And Thad is kind of like very groggy, you know, he's just waking up. And then we're going to say this perpetrator, he's only 17 years old, Joseph Clark. So Thad is 13, the perpetrator, the teen, is 17. So he takes Thad out of his home in the middle of the night and takes him to his home, a few houses down. Now the story goes like this. Joe drops Thad, and Thad is a little, groggy and bewildered, like, what's going on? And Joe is like, hey, you wanna come inside? We're having we're gonna get ready for a big party, something like that. He lured Thad into the home, and Thad didn't think anything of it. He didn't feel threatened any kind of way or anything like that. Well, not yet. Sorry about that. I'm in the beginning of podcast kind of person, but so bear with me. Okay, so here is the story. Go back to the story. So Thad to this day doesn't know why he went into the house. He just didn't understand it. He felt there was no threat at all. So he goes in the house and he automatically feels okay, this is kind of like a dump, it's like a shack, and there's trash everywhere. And then Joseph lures Chad upstairs, and he was like, hey, I got these model cars, you want to check them out, my friends are going to be here any moment. And again, Thad, even to this day, he's like, I don't even know why I went upstairs. Well, listen, I know when I get woke up from a nap, or when I'm halfway sleeping, I am so disoriented, I am groggy, it's just not a good time. And poor Thad, oh man, Joseph got him at a very vulnerable point. So out of nowhere, not even rhyme or reason, when Joseph brings Thad into the bedroom, Joseph grabs Thad, throws him on the bed, and then grabs his foot and twists it all the way around until a loud pop. He broke his ankle. What? Thad is he doesn't understand what is happening to him, it's just a shock. He can't process what's happening. And then, he's like, ow, what are you doing? Just any kind of response. And then Joseph quickly turns into a different person. And he just acts like everything's okay. And then they're friends again. It's very odd. The way I would describe Joseph Clark's behavior, if you were a movie buff like me, I don't know if you ever saw the movie by M. Night Shyamalan. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but I love you, dude. I love all your movies. Philly represent. Okay. So the movie Split, starring James McAvoy, when he changed like to Patricia and to a different person, a different personality, that's what Joseph did. Yeah. He like switched on a dime for like no rhyme or reason. Okay, so that is like, okay, I need to get out of here. This is not good at all. And then with any like, so he tries to escape. He tries to like push the kid away and walk away, but he has a broken ankle, so he doesn't get too far, poor thing. So Joseph catches up to him and brings him back in the room and then grabs his leg. And the way they describe it, I just, okay. We do not claim this. He gets him on the bed and then bends his leg all the way back until it cracks. The kid broke Thad's femur, broke his leg bone, and the femur is actually the strongest bone in your body. Yeah. So Thad is just like disoriented. He's like, oh my God, what is happening? What do I do? So he's just in like self-preservation mode, but not only this is happening, Joseph is beating the tar out of poor 13-year-old Thad. Just no reason. Poor Thad went through this torture. God, they said for like 43 hours. Maybe some say 43 hours, 50 hours, but any hour of breaking bones is, yeah, no. We do not claim that energy, okay? So poor Thad, he is trying to think as a 13-year-old, I gotta get out of here. What do I need to do? And Joseph, again, switched and he pretended to be Thad's friend. He started to nurse his wounds, tried to fix his broken bones. What? Like, he's mangling, he's disfiguring this child. So Joseph is waiting for his girlfriend to come over. And Thad thinks it's a great time to try to escape. So, he's like, okay, here's my chance. But the pain is so severe that he falls down the stairs. And as he's falling, right when the door opens, it's Joseph and his girlfriend. Like, what? We don't know if they saw him automatically, but we knew that Thad was trying to crawl away to safety, and he was caught by Joseph and was, oh my gosh, when his girlfriend left, he hurt Thaddeus so bad. To punish him, there's a couch downstairs. He puts Thaddeus on the couch and grabs his foot, twists it all the way around until the pop. He broke his other leg. Then during this torture, we're not sure like what time, with the beatings and the breaking bones, his kneecaps are broken. Oh my gosh. Yes, extremely upsetting. I didn't even know you could like break kneecaps. And you're probably thinking, well, did he have a tool? What did this kid do? Dude, this kid was strong. Like, do you have any idea how strong you have to be to break a bone? Not even a bone, but the femur. And then you busted kneecaps. So Thad knew, like, if I don't get out of here, I'm gonna die. And Joseph Clark knew he was going to kill Thad. he knew it, which is terrifying. So he starts kind of, again, befriending him and talking to him. And finally, Thad was like, why are you doing this to me? And then the most chilling response was, I like the way bones sound. I like that popping noise. It's like, say what? You are thinking that it is bubble wrap, sir? No, that is a human body with bones. And he's acting like it's popping bubble wrap. Like, you gotta be. Sorry, I'm gonna have a sip of my tea right now. Excuse me. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So when Joseph is downstairs, he starts talking to someone. And Thaddeus, again, poor thing, is like crawling, like if he leaves the door open, Thaddeus crawled to the staircase to hear, like, oh, is someone there and everything. But he finds out that there is a phone. There has to be a phone downstairs. And all Thad is thinking about is, I gotta get to that phone. Gotta get to it. So remember, the first time when Thad throws himself down the stairs and then he gets caught by Joseph, and then the beating and the torture was so bad that Joseph took Thad, not put him in his room, but threw him in a closet. Like, threw him in his poor little mangled body. That is just awful. And Thad just was thinking, I don't want to die. And he just heard that Joseph has done this before, because, you know, he was saying, why are you doing this? And Joseph opened up to him and said, yeah, there was another kid, Christopher Steiner. I've done this before. And apparently there are a couple others to this day that we have no idea about. Like, what? As soon as Thad, like, heard this, he already wanted to live. He wanted to live so bad, like, deal with all this pain to live, to make sure it never happened to anyone again. So when he heard that he did this again and never got caught, he knew that if he died, this kid would never get caught. So he had to live. So he was waiting and waiting for his chance in the closet. And he was hearing everything, what's going on, and he heard a car leave. The girlfriend was supposed to come back and this time bring Joe. But Joe thought, you know, I'm going to keep him in the closet, locked up. There's no way he's getting out. So Thaddeus was feeling around, okay? Feeling around the closet and found an old rustic guitar. Yeah. And I don't know if it was like a bass guitar. It had to be a bass. There's no way an acoustic would break open that closet wall. He went like Rambo with that, man. He said he grabbed that guitar and smashed through that wall. Closet door, sorry. It must have been hard as a wall with no strength. So he's just like on adrenaline. So Thaddeus is like, I'm not going to get caught this time. It's now or never. Joe is still not back yet. Thaddeus, God, poor thing, is crawling, throwing himself, like trying to get down the stairs. But each time he like moves and steps, he passes out from the pain. When he comes to, can you imagine, like, I mean, I don't want anyone to imagine, this is awful. He is crawling down the stairs again because he got caught before. This time, he literally was like, I have to do or die. I have to give it my all to survive. I've got to. So little by little, he goes down the stairs, passes out from the pain. Going and going, passes out. Then when he comes to, and then he realizes he literally hears the phone. It's dark, but he remembers hearing a phone downstairs. So he doesn't even know where this thing is. So this poor kid is gliding his hands on the wall. And if you Gen Z people don't know, it's not a rotary phone, but it's a phone. We had one too when I was a kid. You have a phone on the wall, and then when the receiver drops, you can dial on the receiver. And thank God that's what phone it was. So when he felt the cord and he wiggled, 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 and the receiver fell and he heard a dial tone, he quickly called 911. When 911 arrived, they initially thought it was a prank, and they were going to the house kind of upset, like, okay, this has got to be a prank. And he goes in and sees Thad, and they said he was just so, like, just focused and straight to the point, wasn't freaking out. He was just like, just get me out of here. Get me out of here. And quickly, they take him to the medical room. Oh my gosh, sorry. They take him to the hospital and found out his leg was broken in 4 places. What? So not only his ankles were broken, his legs were broken, his hips were broken. And then he had fractured ribs from getting the tar beat out of him. And the doctor said, you literally almost died, because he had internal bleeding from the broken wounds and the force. He actually only had 2 more hours left to live. Thaddeus' parents, I cannot imagine what you went through. First of all, you know, your child is taken, and we have no idea who took them, and they're just houses away. And the father to this day regretted, like, you know, if I went house to house, I would have found them. But like Thaddeus said, I mean, he didn't know, but he really wanted his dad to bust through that door and save him. And he didn't. But Thaddeus did survive. Amazing, right? He almost died. It was insane. So they got Joseph Clark, and of course Joseph Clark pled insanity. He pleaded mental illness. But get this, the detectives found in his room a manifesto. Yeah. Oh, it's haunting. It was like a spreadsheet that said, can wait, and then like, can't wait, or something like that. And then the other one said leg thing. And there were lists of boys' names in these quadrants in the notebook. Yeah, that's horrifying. Before the surgeries began on Thad, he was telling the police right away about Christopher Steiner and was saying things like, you need to look into him. Well, guess what, you guys? A year before, 1994, around 4th of July, Christopher Steiner went missing. I believe it was less than a week later, his body was found in a body of water. They thought he drowned. Now, what you may think is like, okay, well, when they found him, did he have broken bones? Did he have any injuries? Well, they did a exhumation for the body, because with his death it said drowning, and he was 14 years old. They did the exhumation of the body, and they found out that his legs were mangled and broken. Now, when I try to do research for myself, I'm like, wouldn't they think that's weird how this kid's legs are broken? But when you think about it, anything can happen in the water, you know, not like fish get them, but a boat, you know, he could have got, you know, in a motor, or just, you know, slammed into a rock. You know, we don't know, because he was out there for a while. He was all bloated. The only thing that the pathologist could say that there were water in the lungs, which means he drowned. But when they exhumed the body and they saw the evidence of the torture, okay? Because by then, Joe was saying that Thaddeus did this to himself, and no, he didn't. How could someone do that to them? Anyway, as a law enforcement, you have to get evidence. You have to get probable cause and all that. So, but anyway, they brought closure to the Steiner family because he was in fact murdered by Joseph Clark. And again, we don't know who the two others are. Joseph isn't saying anything. Thad, I don't think he told them, or he couldn't remember. I'm not sure because of the trauma. But I will say Thad is a hero because there was a manifesto. And there were other boys on that paper that actually Thad knew in school. And they could have been the next victims. It is scary. Like, I just can't, like, what? So sentencing for Joseph Clark was this. They actually wanted to give him 100 years in prison. He's going to be there a very, very long time. He was 17 when he went in. And his family was trying to be an alibi and saying that his mother was there, and it's definitely mental illness because Joseph Clark's biological mother, because Joseph Clark was adopted. This is just, yeah, whatever. I'm not saying when you're adopted, you're going to be a murderer, okay? I know plenty of, but anyway, this is their defense. They're saying since he was adopted and the biological mother was known to be on drugs, and Joseph Clark a year before had a head injury because of a bike accident. I'm sure just a regular bicycle accident. That's why he has mental illness. But the judge did not agree because this kid had a manifesto of who his next victims were. And this kid went to homes and took children out of their house. Nick Steiner was taken out of his house. There was muddy footprints in the house. But the parents at the time, you know, he just started a new job at McDonald's. I know, being 14, you know, I didn't know you could. Anyway, started a job at McDonald's, and usually teens at that age kind of are disturbing, you know. You sneak out of the house, you hang around with the bad crowd, you learn stuff. So his parents really weren't that worried until, of course, his body ended up in the body of water and he drowned. So, and Thaddeus, there was no evidence really except the screen door was cut. Both boys' homes, their parents' home where they lived, the screen door was cut. Like, what kind of psycho? Okay, I mean, yes, I'm sorry, but that is absolutely psychotic. Like, that is nightmare fuel. Like, have you guys ever fell asleep on the couch and now you're like, oh my God, if my husband, or if you're younger, my dad comes and picks me up and takes me to bed, yeah. Again, this story is not for everyone. So Joseph Clark is still in prison, and he was supposed to pay over like $15 million in punitive damages, okay? His family hasn't paid the Phillips family a cent. I'm looking online, I don't see anything. Apparently they are, I guess, poverty, or whatever, but they have not paid Thaddeus a cent. And this was in 1995. So when I came across this case, I saw the GoFundMe, which I'm going to link it down below. Please, please donate, even $1, something. This kid is a hero. I just cannot believe he survived. Okay, I gotta tell you one more epic thing before I go. Right before he was going to testify against Joseph Clark, Joseph Clark's friend or neighbor, whatever the heck he was, snot-nosed kid, got a rifle and knocked on Thaddeus's door. Thaddeus opened the door and he was shot twice with the rifle. With a gun. What? So he wouldn't testify against his friend, Joseph Clark. Well, guess what? Thaddeus survived that. He survived medieval torture, like worse than that, and getting shot twice. Like, this dude is freaking a superhero. Like a heroic. I mean, he wanted to testify, that guy. He was not afraid. He wanted to, like, get him so bad and make sure he would never do it to anyone else. Today, Thaddeus is married and he has children. And apparently he's a really cool dude, but he still has a lot of doctors. He's like a lot of doctor's appointments. He's had surgeries. He can walk, but sadly he has this limp. And every time he walks, he has to think about that stupid night that should even happen. So, yeah, that is horrible. And I don't know much to say because Thaddeus didn't really do anything wrong. He was in the comfort of his own home and taken as essentially by the boogeyman. Well, if you guys got through this, if you're watching, thank you for watching. If you're listening, thank you so much for listening. Amazing we got through this together. I hope you had comfort items on you. I've been trying not to cry this whole time. Sorry, I'm a little emotional, emo, totally emo. But I really wish peace for the families involved in this maniac's, whatever the heck you call it. Joseph Clark has been trying to get out, actually, but he will not. He may be there for the rest of his life. And I know he was a kid, but if you enjoy breaking people's bones, I don't want you anywhere near society. Let me know down in the comments below if you think I'm wrong or I'm harsh or whatever. If you like this video, if you don't, that's fine. But yeah, I'm gonna go watch a happy movie and listen to happy songs, light more white candles, and yeah, I'm gonna get going. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think about this story. Please leave the comments below, do the GoFundMe, and I cannot wait to see you guys next time. And remember, you're doing better than you think. Bye guys, see you later.